They are Christmas movies. They aren't Christmas movies. These are the movies that get argued every single year. This is my rated R Christmas movie watch list. I've got 15 of these here. But I also have two bonuses, and I have a bonus in the beginning and I have one at the end. And the reason I have those is because generally those ones you can definitely say they're not really Christmas, but they take place during the winter months, the winter season. I think it's a perfect time to watch them. People seem to have a lot more time off during this season. So if you want to knock out some really great rated R Christmas movies, you're tired of Home Alone or people talking about Home Alone, these are ones to really dive into. And the very first bonus we have here, it's like I said, it's not a Christmas movie, but I think it's a really good one, especially for the time of year. So this one is Fargo. It takes place in a small town in Minnesota. There's this plot to kidnap this car salesman's wife so he can get money from his father-in-law, but he doesn't want any harm to come to her. Well, he hires the wrong guys. They're bumbling criminals, and just one mishap after another just constantly happens. Then you have like the small town cops from Minnesota. They got that funny accent. It just kind of always makes me laugh. But this is something that one, I'm never going to watch this in the summertime. So I think now is the perfect time to watch it. That's why it's a bonus. But the very first one here is a Christmas movie. It starts out, you see the Christmas, it's right in your face in the very beginning. But this is something that I think it just flies under most people's radars, but it's Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. This is one of my favorites. And so you have Robert Downey Jr., Val Kilmer. And if you've never seen this one, Robert Downey Jr.'s character, he's a small-time crook, and he's going to get caught. But to escape the police and stuff, he just kind of accidentally falls into a movie audition. He gets the part, so he goes out to California, and then he starts following around this private investigator to learn what he does, so he can really just kind of take on that role in the movie. But along the way, there's dead bodies, there's an actual crime, they have to really do the investigation so they don't die. It's one of those things that I really enjoy, and perfect time to watch it because it's a Christmas film. Now, number two is one that I've had it for many years. Now, this is the first time I had the Blu-ray, so I've already talked about it because I got it recently, but it's something that, one, I absolutely love. I think the Blu-ray is top-notch, but for years I only had this on VHS, and it is Long Kiss Goodnight. It's perfect time to watch it. This is another one that just kind of fell under the, I've had it for years, and I would always put it off. I'm like, I watched it, it's good. Next year I'll get the Blu-ray. Well, next year never really came, and now I can't find my VHS. I'm pretty sure it's packed away in storage, because we're moving, and some things just got put in the wrong boxes by accident. But so I had to grab this, and I'm kind of glad I did because the Blu-ray was just a great watch. Now, if you've never seen this one, you got Geena Davis, Sam Jackson, but Geena Davis's character, she was a spy for the government. She was like not really probably like secret spy. Like it's something that, everyone thought she was dead. She has amnesia. She somehow makes it on television. And then all of a sudden, like all the people that thought she was dead are now trying to hunt her and try to come after her. And then her amnesia starts to slowly wear away after many years. And, it's just a really enjoyable film. But, I think Sam Jackson is just top notch in this. His character, I don't think it's his typical character role. I really enjoyed this one, but highly recommend for this time of year. Coming in at number 3 is Die Hard. Now, this is something that, one, I recently just picked up the 4K, like just a few days ago, and I watched it. Really enjoy the 4K. I don't know why I didn't pick it up earlier, because Die Hard is something that, one, it's a must watch in our house, but I've had this on VHS and DVD and Blu-ray, and I've had it for years. Every single year, this is a Christmas staple for us. Like Christmas Eve, we have to stop what we're doing no matter what and watch this film. Now, there's, throughout the entire season, it might get watched a few other times, but no matter what, Christmas Eve, it is a tradition that we have. It's a must watch for us. But Die Hard is it's one of my all-time favorites, and it's the biggest one that gets argued it's not a Christmas film. Well, the entire thing takes place on Christmas Eve at a Christmas party. There's Christmas decorations throughout the entire thing. So however you want to say, it's definitely not your Home Alone. It's not your Christmas Vacation, but it is Christmas. I'm not going to watch this in the summer, and I guess you really could, but with all the Christmas theming, I think it would just kind of feel out of place. So for me, 100%, I got to watch this one, and I highly recommend it. Coming in at number 4 is Better Watch Out. Now, this is something that, it's a newer film, but it's something that I picked up when Netflix was closing down their DVD rentals. So they had this out here, and I actually had to print this custom cover. I had to make this, so I actually printed off the interior. I'm probably going to switch out the clear case here so you can see that a lot better. And we'll talk about how to print custom covers, in another video coming soon. But this is something that I had to make it, and I liked that. I liked that artwork a lot better. I tweaked up the reds a little bit. Maybe I'll reprint this and tone that down just a skosh. But I was able to print this off, and the barcode totally scans in my app for collecting. So this is just really sharp, and I absolutely love the fact that there's interior artwork. I think that bare minimum the studios should be doing that, at least on Blu-rays. I get that the 4K comes in a solid black case, but if you're printing out Blu-rays and you're a boutique Blu-ray label, I think just the interior art adds so much to the entire aesthetic. And so one of my things, not really a pet peeve, but I really enjoy opening it up and just seeing more of the movie that I loved. But yeah, that was one that I really enjoyed. Enough of that. But this one, if you've never seen it, it kind of blends genres, I think. So this one here, it kind of feels like Home Alone, but then at the same time, it's got this slasher vibe, slash horror vibe, and they're ish. Like, it's not like 100%, I think, in any of them. So I think it like not necessarily transcends genres, but probably close, because I'm not really sure where to put this one. Like, if there's some dark humor in here, so like, where am I going to put this on the shelf? Like, obviously it sticks with the Christmas movies, but if I didn't have them separated that way, where is this going in horror? Is it going in dark humor? Where is it going to go? So this is something that I don't really know how to categorize it, so I'm just glad it's a Christmas film because I would just kind of trying to figure it out and just lose my mind of like, where did I end up putting it? But this is something, if you've never seen it, it really did take me for not really a loop, but it's something that I enjoyed it, but it ended up not being how I expected. So I thought the movie was going to play out one certain way. It totally doesn't. It goes for like this twist. It goes in the opposite direction. And I'm not going to spoil it for anybody because it wasn't spoiled for me. I think that's just the best way to watch it. But if you've never seen this one, I think this boy is a little too old to be having a babysitter. He has this babysitter. There's some murdering going on, some people, getting into the house that shouldn't be in the house, probably. And it's one of those things that it brings in the Home Alone vibe because there's the whole paint can scene. So back, with Home Alone, I remember being a kid and my mom being upset about the paint can scene because that could kill somebody. And I was like, well, Harry and Marv are fine. Like, no, it's not. But in this, they do the exact same kind of scenario. They throw the paint can off the balcony, and the person ends up not surviving it. So it's something that really kind of puts an end to that conversation. And I guess I lost the argument. But yeah, it's one of those things that I really enjoyed. I highly recommend, but it's another one that I've seen it with my wife, but I've not watched this with any of my kids. So it's something I save for like later at night. Everybody's in bed. I'm wrapping presents or something. This is just a fun one to get into. All right, number 5 is Enemy of the State. Now, this is something that I've talked about a couple times this year because I finally upgraded from the DVD. But this is a classic. It's something I have to watch every single year. But it's another one that most people don't think is a Christmas film. And it's the one I watch because, 100% it's a Christmas film. It takes place during Christmas. There's Christmas presents. Will Smith's character is Christmas shopping in a lingerie store. And as a kid in the 90s, I really remembered that. There's a scene with Santa Claus. You actually see a full dressed out Santa Claus in the streets, but full on decorations, constant Christmas talk. It's not super, super in your face, but there's Christmas decorations all in the background. Even in like the CIA headquarters, it's full of Christmas decorations. So it's something that you really can't forget that it is, but it's one of the ones I bring it up, and people in my real life tell me it's not a Christmas film. My own wife will watch this in the summertime, and I'm like, I can't do it. I can't. I got to watch it around now. So it's one of my favorites. If you've never seen this one, highly recommend it. But there's this whole entire rogue CIA operatives that are, taking people out. There's somebody that witnesses it. They're trying to get through. Will Smith's character's, a lawyer that kind of gets involved, and so now they're kind of ruining his life. And just a really enjoyable film. Really like that one. Coming in at number 6 is Fat Man. Now, this is something that came out a couple years ago, but it's something that, when I first saw the trailer, I was like, oh, I don't know about that. I love Mel Gibson. It just doesn't really look like a me movie. This one really surprised me, and I've been watching it ever since. And it's something that, I even talked about it last year. It was just like a must watch on my list last year. But this is something that I enjoy watching, but I find that even though I watched this one with my kid, it wasn't bad. It doesn't have like your normal, Christmas vibes, good warm fuzzies. It's a bang bang shoot 'em up. It's what my daughter calls it, and I like that term because it describes it to a T. If you've never seen this film, Mel Gibson's character, he plays Santa Claus, and he's pretty much a badass. He works for the government, the entire toy factory, and what goes on at the North Pole. It's just great. But then you have this mob kid who gets coal for Christmas, and then he wants to Santa Claus's head. So he hires Walter Goggins to do that, who had also a similar experience when he was a kid. So he has this vendetta against Santa Claus, and the entire thing, there's literally a shootout at the North Pole, but something that, one, I really enjoyed it, but Walter Goggins as a villain is just perfect. And Mel Gibson nailed this role. And I don't think if anybody else did this movie, I would have been into it at all. But this is just a great one. Okay, number 7 is Harold and Kumar, Very Merry Christmas. This is a Very Merry Harold and Kumar Christmas. Now, this is something that, one, I found it many years ago, and I like the Harold and Kumar films, but this is the only one that I had forever. It was only very recently, in the past year or two, that I added the first one to the collection. But this is something that I picked it up years ago because, one, it's just this time of year. It's just great to blow off a little steam, put in one of these movies, raunchy rated R movie that just has that like ridiculous, over the top humor, stuff that you can laugh at, because sometimes you get sick and tired of all the merriment and good cheer and just everybody having a smile. And this is just something that it's like a blow off some steam movie. So when I'm wrapping presents and stuff, this is when I pop in just to kind of wind down from a busy day of relatives and everything else. But this is just something that, one, I highly recommend it. But two, if you've never seen it, it's just a typical Harold and Kumar story. There's some weed involved, some disaster involved, and a whole entire adventure, and Neil Patrick Harris. So I don't think you go wrong with this one if you like those types of films. But this is something that, one, I know it's not for everybody, but it's one that I have to watch every year. Number 8 is Office Christmas Party. Now, this is one that came out a couple years back, and in 2016 it came out. But when I first saw this one, man, one, you have a great cast, so it just kind of sucked me in there. You have Jason Bateman, Olivia Munn, T.J. Miller, Jillian Bell, Vanessa Bayer, Courtney Vance, Rob Cordy, Sam Richardson, Randall Park, Kate McKinnon, and Jennifer Aniston. So this is an amazing cast. It's, just one, I think everybody was just top notch in this film. But you have Jennifer Aniston, who's she's kind of uptight. Her and her brother are part owners in their business, their family business, and then the brother just kind of has that normal good guy vibe and just kind of cares about the people and everything, and she doesn't. She cares about the bottom line. So they're shutting down the entire building there, and all those people are going to lose their job. And so he definitely just kind of takes over and gives everybody one last hurrah. They put on this like epic Christmas party. Really enjoyable, but just another one. It's those hard R, raunchy comedies, but something that I really enjoy. And another one that I'd probably watch during wrapping presents late at night, and just such a fun one to get into. Number 9 is The Ref. And now this is something that I've been watching since I was a kid, but I found it probably like mid-teens. This came out in the 90s, I think. But you have just a great cast. You have Dennis Leary, you have Kevin Spacey, Judy Davis. But this is something that, one, you have a dysfunctional family, but then you have Dennis Leary's character, who's a burglar, and so he's trying to rob this house, but then they have this like alarm that kind of gets the better of him. So now the cops are looking for this guy, and so then he just kind of pals up with his family to kind of hide out until it's over. But this is a whole dysfunctional family that hate each other, and for whatever reason, this criminal fixes this family, and he leaves for the better. And something that, one, I really enjoy, but I think it's perfect for this time of year. But again, it's like a hard R. Definitely have some adult more themes, but you have the language. It's mostly language, like a little bit of violence, but mostly language in this film. That's pretty much it. And it's just something that I watched with all my teenagers. I haven't watched it with my youngest yet because the language is just a little much for her. But other than that, really enjoy this one. And the family really looks forward to this one. Number 10 is Reindeer Games. Now, this one here is just a classic one, and a lot of people don't think of it as a Christmas movie, but it takes place during that time of year. There's, it's a heist film, and so in the robbery, they're wearing Santa Claus suits. So I don't think you can go wrong. It's perfect for this time of year. But if you've never seen it, Ben Affleck's character, he kind of, takes the identity of his old cellmate, so then he can, meet this girl. His old cellmate's pen pal there, meet her. and then kind of, take off and have a good life, have a good experience. But along the way, he is forced into a robbery that he doesn't want to do. And just, as it unfolds, just a really enjoyable film. But like I said, they got Santa Claus suits on. I don't think you can go wrong. It's a perfect Christmas film for me. Number 11 is something, it's another one. It's a dark comedy, really enjoyable. John Cusack's in this one, but it's something that I think flies under most people's radar. I've never heard anybody ever talk about this film, ever. But I absolutely love it. One of my favorites. And I think this is one that's stuck on DVD. I don't think you can get this one on Blu-ray or anything else. You might be able to. If you can, let me know in the comments. But this is something that, it's Ice Harvest. If you've never seen it, you have Randy Quaid in here, but he has a very small role. But this is something Billy Bob Thornton. It's small town, Wichita, Kansas, and there's this whole slogan or thing that's repeated throughout the entire movie. It's as Wichita falls, or Wichita falls, as so does falls Wichita. It's some weird thing that's said throughout the entire movie. So it's this like small town mentality, but it's filled with criminals. And John Cusack's character is a lawyer for the mob, and so it's Christmas Eve. And the entire town, there's a robbery, there's a heist going on, and it's just one of those things that it just kind of plays out. It doesn't have that slow burn mentality, but it just has a vibe that, one, I really enjoy it, but nobody else in the house likes this one. But it's something that I have to watch every single year. Just a fun movie to get into. And again, it has the heist element. Like, it's not 100% like a heist film, but it has a little bit of it in there. It's more deception and murder and greed, and it's more of that going on. But this is just a really good film to get into. Great Christmas film. Okay, number 12 is Lethal Weapon. Now, this is something that, one, most people don't talk about it as a Christmas film, but I've heard it more recently, especially this year. I've heard it more recently, but Lethal Weapon is one of my all-time favorites. It starts out at Christmas. It has, the entire thing is like Christmas tree lot, the opening scene, and Mel Gibson is in the back of a Christmas tree truck, and it's just one of those things that you have the Christmas music in the very beginning of the movie, and through the entire thing there's Christmas decorations at Riggs' house. So 100% without a doubt, this is a Christmas movie. Really enjoy it. But this is another one that it's a rated R one. I've seen it with my older kids, but with my youngest, there is some themes in here that are a little bit, I think too much for her at the moment, but something that really enjoy this one. Highly recommend Lethal Weapon. Coming in at number 13 is Violent Night. Now, this is something that, one, it's a newer film, but I had found this one, and I didn't grab the 4K on it because I had the Blu-ray, and it's another one that I had picked up when Netflix was dumping the rental service, and so it's another one I got to keep. So I had to print off this custom cover. It's another one I probably should switch out to like a clear case. So I was able to print that off, just really sharp, no big ugly banner. It's one of my biggest pet peeves with these discs is the big ugly banner, and it takes away from the artwork. But as we do that, now it's harder to see, which is why I'm probably going to switch this out. But it says Violent Night, and right there in the middle, it's red. So it's one of those things that I absolutely love it. Really sharp. I can take this out like this. So Violent Night, just really nice. It came out very well. But yeah, we'll talk about making custom covers soon enough. It's something that, one, this movie was just really fun. If you've never seen it, you have Santa Claus who just has this whole backstory of being this badass Viking, but now he just wants to be Santa Claus, be peaceful. He's kind of grumpy, a little bit tired, just a little bit, whatever. And then, there's this super mega rich family. Something happens. There's people trying to take them out and steal all their money and, probably kill everybody. So Santa Claus just happens to be there delivering presents, and he reluctantly has to save the day. So if you've never seen this one and it's up your alley, check it out. But this was something super fun. Glad to have it in the rotation. This will be the second time that I've watched it, I think. So looking forward to that one. Now here's one. It's unconventional, and normally I don't like to talk about movies that take place over the span of a couple months and call it a holiday film. But I like to watch it around this time of year because, one, it's unconventional. Most people don't think to watch this movie around this time of year. But for me, it just kind of fits the entire thing. And it's another one of those things that it has some dark humor for me. And, personally, like when I'm just kind of sick and tired of the entire family, and there's just so much holiday cheer, and you can't take another Christmas cookie and can't take another viewing of Home Alone. This is something that I like to pop in when the family's asleep. I wrap the presents. I watch this. I get a chuckle. And I know it's not appropriate for Christmas, but it just works for me because it has a Christmas scene in it. And so this is something that, one, the entire scene I think is just great, for the character development, but also Reese Witherspoon I think is top notch in it. We're talking about American Psycho. So this is one that, again, doesn't really pop up on most people's Christmas lists, but yeah, that whole Christmas scene, it just kind of makes it work for me, ties in the entire holiday season, and wrapping presents, I think this is a perfect watch. Now, number 15 technically isn't a Christmas film either, but it takes place in the season, like right afterwards, and there is a scene of New Year's Eve in here. So this is, I like to watch it. I'm always watching it during the Christmas season, and probably multiple times. So I've already watched it once this year, and I'll probably watch it a couple more times all the way until New Year's Eve. And we're talking about Money Train. So it's just a classic with Wesley Snipes, Jennifer Lopez, and Woody Harrelson. If you've never seen this one, they're police officers in New York City, and they have to guard this money train. So the subway, it carries all the money, and they just kind of have to protect it. Well, some things happen. The boss that's in charge of the entire train is kind of a jerk, and there's also this love interest is Jennifer Lopez, and they play brothers. So obviously they're brothers from another mother, but they grew up together. They take care of each other, and so that theme plays through the entire thing because Woody Harrelson's kind of a screw up, where Wesley Snipes is more of the level-headed guy, but he's always looking out for his brother. And this is something that, one, I absolutely love that entire story, but it's another heist movie, so had to add it to the collection. And freaking, this is a brand new Blu-ray to me. I've had the VHS for years. I think I have 2 VHS copies of this, but it's something that, one, I watch every single year, but it's one I always kind of play in the background. So I pop it in my kitchen while I'm cooking, or maybe when I'm in here working on a video, I'll pop it in. And so it's always playing, but I never really get to sit down and watch it like I used to. And then when I got the Blu-ray, this was the first time I had actually sat down, like no phone, no distractions, no nothing, and just really enjoyed it. Just an all-time great movie to watch during this time of year. And the last bonus is A Simple Plan. Now, this is something I saw like 20-something years ago, but it's something that I kind of forgot about till the 4K got announced. This was a day one purchase for me. Glad I got this, but as I did the rewatch on it, I knew that obviously it took place during this time of year, but there's a whole entire scene of the ball dropping and New Year's Eve. So you definitely want to watch this one after Christmas, but for me, it just works. It works during this time of year. I don't think you watch it any other time of year because all the snow on the ground, it's just not going to work for me. But it's not technically a heist film, but something goes on. There's a ton of money that is found in the woods, and there's 2 brothers, and the one brother's friend find the money, but then there's lying and deceit, and then there's murder, and this is just something that, one, as this movie unfolds, really good movie, but something, again, it's generally probably not a family film, but it's something I would watch with my wife. Really enjoy this one, and looking forward to watching it again this year before the season's over. But yeah, highly recommend A Simple Plan. So those were my rated R Christmas movies. I think all these work for this time of year. I'm never going to watch them any other time. Let me know in the comments down below which Christmas movie you watch that people don't think is a Christmas movie. Click the top video right here if you want to learn how to make custom Blu-ray covers, and click the bottom if you want more movie recommendations. And with that, remember to watch a movie today, and I'll catch you guys next time.